Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, where I'm recording this moments after the last video, and it's because the airbase is damaged, of course. We need to go in here, and we need to repair the airbase in this region. So where is that? It's got 10 levels of damage. This one. That's a top priority. Let's get that airbase repaired so that we can have some air superiority over California. Excellent. Simple question, simple answer. That's the way I like it. Now, we did just get a substantial group of reinforcements coming in. We're going to get a few more here in a little while, and that will be great. We really, really need them. We are not maxed out right now in any of our, well, some of our armies, but none of our army groups are currently maxed out. And that is the important thing here. Okay, yep. These guys are headed out. These guys are headed up. Gotcha. We don't control Santa Fe yet, so unfortunately we aren't able to... Oh, hello. We must have lost control of Oklahoma City briefly at some point. Okay, we definitely need to be working on that. Infrastructure repairs and building infrastructure in this region is, of course, the absolute top priority right now. And honestly, repairing these factories is pretty high priority too. Okay, let's get to work on all that. And hopefully we don't briefly lose Oklahoma City again. Wait, did that unqueue our land forts here as well? It didn't. Odd. That is very odd. Okay. Very, very strange. Regardless, you can see here our cap on our airplanes is now coming up nicely. Just because we needed to repair the airbase. So in the Rocky Mountains, our air superiority is now up to 100%, and over here our air superiority is rising, and it will get to 100% quite soon. So that's great, and that will give us a large advantage, of course. We're attempting to attack out of Oklahoma City here. I'm a little surprised by that. Okay. Now, I would really like to grab Santa Fe, and that actually gets grabbed pretty quickly in this order, so that's great. Very happy to see that one. And these guys are making their way up to here, but not necessarily to here. I guess that's okay. Wonderful. So, we're not necessarily in a particularly great situation in terms of army strengths right now, but we do have this line of land forts that we are constructing, mostly to be able to not have, like, we want to have a fallback line, right? And I don't want to fall back any further than this line. Now, I'm wondering why these guys over here are showing up like this rather than with the blue slashes. So let's check for New Mexico here. They are being built right now. I don't know. I think it might be because of just a visual bug, or perhaps because we don't control the victory point. But we can build land forts without the victory point. So that's a little odd. Regardless, we are making progress on building infrastructure in Oklahoma. So that's great. How is our supply doing in this region? Not amazingly, is the answer. We already knew that, of course. And our supply is doing much, much better over here, which is why we're much more successful. Hello, unassigned divisions. I think we'll pop those in over here. Or just that single division. Oh, that's a paratrooper division? But we're already maxed on our paratroopers, so in they go. We have slots at the front lines for them, and so they will definitely be in the front lines. We're getting close to taking the victory point for Utah. Still a little bogged down in the California mountains, but that's not surprising. Let's check in on our air superiority. Looks fantastic. One thing we may want to do is grab this airbase here. This is the New Mexico airbase. What level of airbase is this? Let's hop back into the default map mode. This is a level 1 airbase. I'm interested in upgrading this, but we can't because we don't control the victory point. Okay, for right now, let's go ahead and put in a size 200 Jet Fighter 2 fighter wing. And I'm going to have them start getting us air superiority over the central USA. Off they go. Wonderful. We're still struggling a little bit with air superiority in the west coast, it looks like. But that honestly shouldn't be an issue. We're at 25.3% right now. But these guys are deploying, like, really crappy fighters against us. They have a lot of ground mission planes. Noted. But those ground mission planes are getting wrecked, in all honesty. We can grab destroyer effort, sure. And we do have an unassigned division here, and so we will pop him in over here. We have a few more, in fact. Excellent. We still have another. I'm a little surprised by that. There we go, that's all of them. So we're going to keep filing over some troops. Now, a lot of these guys are just chilling back here. It would cause the next province to require more supplies than it has capacity for. A nuke going off in the middle of nowhere in Arizona. Okay. Not all that relevant. That said, this supply zone we've pushed up in such a way that we are exceeding our supplies here, and that's definitely a bit of a concern. Now, I think that a big part of the reason for that is because we're not working on infrastructure repair right now, which is definitely something that should be an absolute top priority. Yeah, it's because Arizona has a bunch of damaged infrastructure, perhaps because a nuke just went off. Perhaps. But we don't want to damage their infrastructure. We want to use their infrastructure. Our war support is getting quite good at this point. I'm very happy about that. And our stability is doing okay as well. We are so super close to knocking Navajo out of this war. And I'm very, very happy about that. Incredibly happy to see that, in fact. We've pushed up in Oklahoma a little bit. That's good to see. That's very good to see. I really want to see us take back Santa Fe. Like, I really want to see that. To the point where I'm thinking about deleting this order. But it does get Santa Fe super early on. Yeah. Okay. I think I'll leave it. But I am very, very interested in getting Santa Fe. They're launching an offensive. It's going to fail. I'm quite sure. They might take this province. I don't really care about this province, in all honesty. Unless we get reinforcements there, which we may be trying to do. No, we're not. Okay, we're just giving up this province. But like I said, I don't care about this province. I'll be interested to see what this does to this. Since we have our army group break here. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But that's okay. We've pushed up a little bit more in Texas. Always a good sign. And if we select this, we can see, yeah, nobody's going in there. Fine. These guys are going to take it. It's irrelevant. I really wish that we could capture Santa Fe. And just deal with this once and for all. If we could get them pushed out of this supply zone, then that would do the trick. They're attempting to attack over here, and yeah, you can see here, this is now incorrect. I'm going to leave it temporarily, though. Because I don't mind these guys helping out with holding Nevada over here. In the meantime, we're attacking up over here and being attacked. This is noted. I want to check in on our air superiority right now. So, up in the Rocky Mountains, we're struggling a little bit with air superiority, and I think the reason for that is because We don't have that many jet fighters up here right now. We have jet fighters coming from here, and that's only 700. Let's bump that up to 1,000. And we'll get that air superiority going. Excellent. If we can capture a few of these air bases that are up close to the lines, though, that will be a big deal for our air superiority. Words are apparently difficult right now. Okay. They're attacking us at Santa Fe, or from Santa Fe, rather. We're probably going to get pushed back here. And that's okay. I don't mind that. That's quite a bulge anyway. Well, we're actually holding, but yeah, we're not holding super well. We're having supply issues over here for sure. I mean, we already knew this. We've got an additional 2 air supply coming in, but that's just not enough. Oh, we've got additional paratroop divisions. Not great divisions, but we'll pop them in over here. And in fact, at this point, I'm going to stop recruiting paratroopers. We can start recruiting them again later on if we need to, but I want all of these supplies to be going into these units, which are actually, you know, intended for frontline fighting. Unlike paratroopers. Okay, we were pushed back a little bit over here, but we pushed right back out. Looks like Free India is doing some work. They're pushed out again. Oklahoma City is currently up to 6 land fort level. So that is great. Another nuke going off in the middle of nowhere in Arizona. An interesting choice, to be sure. We need to go in here and look for additional infrastructure repairs at this point. Arizona's airbase. Yes, repair that. Absolutely. These others I'm not too concerned about, although one thing we might want to consider doing is building anti-air on these frontline areas, although all of these are already maxed out. Okay. Noted. That's completely fine. So far, this is looking reasonable. Oh, this is looking great on this front. Absolutely fantastic, in fact. San Francisco is really, really in danger here. Like, incredibly in danger. However, this front is starting to look tougher. There's no doubt about that. Good thing that we have a Maginot line here, right? That we've been working on for a while. They're going to have a hard time pushing us back on this front, past this line of land forts. So that is fantastic. And, I mean, ultimately, if we just end up pushing up over here, even that would be useful. It'd be a really wide line, right? And a wide line isn't necessarily in our interest right now. So we need to consider that. That said, these guys are definitely exhausting themselves. Chickasaw is currently at 200k manpower, but Ojibwa is the real question here. And their manpower has dropped another 1 million. So that's great. These guys can hop on in over to here. Wonderful. These guys can hop on in over here. We've got an additional infantry division unassigned. And another tank division. And another one. And we've still got another. Wonderful. Let's check in on our air superiority. Okay. This is fine. I'm not too concerned. Like, this up here, this is mostly attrition, right? That's fine. This over here is a little concerning, but they are pretty much just doing ground missions. And we're shooting them down. They have thousands of ground support aircraft over here. So I'm currently interested in putting a second wing of jet fighters in over here. We're doing fairly well with just the 2 wings in total. Man, I wish there was a search box for this. Okay, so we're going to put these jet fighters in here. We're going to put in a full 1,000 of them. And these guys are going to be also set to air superiority in the west coast. These guys down here, they are also going to be a second round of jet fighters. Jet Fighter 2. That's what we're looking for. We have literally 75,000 of these in storage. Like, this is fine. We're going to do another 1,000 of them from this airbase. And these guys are also going to be on air superiority up here. Excellent. Let's get out there. 4,000 jet fighters are being deployed to the west coast right now. Once they arrive, this should change things pretty dramatically. We want to hunt down their close air support planes, shoot them out of the sky as quick as we can. Look at that. 4,000 planes here. And yeah, this is over capacity right now, but Free India's fighters should back out of there, I hope. So currently, we can see our air superiority is at about 19.5, but we have 4,000 jet fighters versus all of these bombers, like 5,000 bombers, prop-driven bombers. Like, they're going to lose copious amounts of planes. And that is the idea. Excellent. We're going to filter these guys into these armies. We've got a few more. A couple of tank divisions here. I'm going to put this other tank division in this army, just because I like to have the tank divisions a little bit spread out. Like, I like to have people having some levels of tank divisions. Now, to be clear, I'm not doing the French tactic of spreading out your tanks all along the Maginot Line and building a Maginot Line. It may seem that way. That's not the plan. I just don't want to have all of my tanks in one basket. I want to have a few strong tank forces. So that's the idea there. The Maginot Line, of course, we're pushing past it, right? That's only a fallback line. It's not a fundamentally bad idea if it actually covers the whole distance, and they can't just drive around it. Excellent. We should probably do more war propaganda, and so we shall. Excellent. Let's see how we're doing on our constructions here. We can't quite build in New Mexico yet. In terms of anti-air, we're doing perfectly fine. Okay. And we're going to be finishing up a lot of those land forts very, very soon. So that is fantastic to see. Most of those land forts are not a high priority. Chickasaw, California's air base, however, that is a high priority. Yeah, everything else here looks good. Wonderful. We're apparently missing an operative. Okay. And you are currently in Ojibwa. Why don't you come build an intel network in Chickasaw? And then how about you build a network in Alaska? Excellent. We should also check in on our cryptology. We'll work on Chickasaw. That'll be fine. Oh, hello. We've got an issue here. So this army's front line needs to be edited. Just like that. Excellent. Get out of that supply zone, please. We don't need additional people in that supply zone. Destroyer effort finishes up. Sure. What else do we need? We could grab Influence Francia, but they don't exist anymore. And these guys don't exist anymore, so I don't think there's any point. I think we should probably go with construction engineering for that sweet, sweet infrastructure construction speed. And, you know, all the other construction speed as well. Excellent. Let's check in on our air superiority in the west coast. They keep just throwing ridiculous amounts of planes at us. Like, this is completely fine. I'm okay with this ratio. We're losing 3 friendly planes, 2 friendly planes. They're losing 13, 18, 13. Yeah, they're bleeding out here. There's no way they can produce this number of aircraft. Like, if we look at our production of jet bombers, or jet fighters rather, we're currently not producing any because we don't have any rubber. Well, we've still got 73,000 stockpiled. We definitely need some rubber. That is something we should definitely look into. We're currently needing 812. Yikes. That's a lot of rubber. You know what? We've got enough stockpiled for now. If we need to later on, we can go after additional rubber. We should be getting quite a lot of rubber from South America, though, right? If we look at, not factions map mode, but infrastructure map mode. No, it is terrain? I know there's a map mode here that shows us resources. Resource map mode. That would help. So yeah, there's a lot of oil down here. Not a ton of rubber. 4 rubber here, 21 here. Yeah, not as much as I was hoping. I was also hoping that we'd be able to prospect for resources in these regions, but I think you maybe have to have a core on that, and I'm not actually sure. Maybe you have to get max compliance for that. The compliance is growing in these regions, so that's good. As we get up here, we can see that the compliance is much lower. Except for up here, where it's at 92% for some reason. Okay. Well, regardless, I think that's how we end up coring in this game, is by getting the compliance up. Like, if we go over to here, where the compliance should be at 100%, yeah, that's just not even there, presumably because it is cored. Occupied is capitulated. Civilian oversight, resistance spread from Santa Cruz, and compliance reduction. Okay. That's half of the compliance. So we should be fine on resistance. Okay. Well, let's take a look at what's going on up here in our our strategic air mode. Yeah, we're just continuing to shoot down their planes at a prodigious rate. We've got 4,000 jet fighters there against their 8,000, mostly bombers. They've got a few close air support as well, but this is mostly bombers. So that is completely fine. Like, if we look at our fighters lost versus enemy bombers lost, I'm okay with this. I'm very okay with this. Looks great to me. We've got this airbase here. Oh, did we get pushed back from San Francisco a little bit? We did get pushed back a little bit on this front. Okay. Well, that's fine. We will push it back. I would still love to actually attack Santa Fe. And yeah, that's pretty much the first thing that we do. Unfortunately, we're not really attacking because the enemy is considered to be stronger on many fronts over here. Although, it's even stronger over here, and this guy's attacking. I don't know what's up with that. We could definitely consider, at this point, going up to... We're trying to do an attack here. That's very anemic, though. We could consider going up to an aggressive attack. And I'm thinking about it. Pros and cons, right? I think we should probably consider, at this point, getting a few more land forts at the front where we can. Now, I'm not going to prioritize constructing these. But we may as well. There we go. So we'll just get that front in there. And we can see over here, we've got a lot of land forts in this region. They're going to be very hard pressed to push past us. An additional division over here means that we can get this army group maxed out as well. Ultimately, I feel like this is good. We don't have anyone defending here. For reasons. Well, mostly because this army is really stretched out. Well, actually, this is Army 11, and then this is Army 21. Noted. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily mind this guy switching over to aggressive at this point. I feel like we're in a pretty good situation. We do have this division that can be sorted in as well. Any others? Yep. Head on over. Fantastic. So we only need one additional division now, and in fact we've got it. That's our armies remaxed out. And with that, I feel like we should switch back over to aggressive. Do it. Wonderful. We may switch back, but overall, I'm pretty content with this. For now, though, you can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, because it is time to put a cut in here, and I'm going to do that and see you all next time.